Hello everyone. Things appear to be working fine here, so we'll try this. And of course, it's been a while, and we and I have just been so busy constantly and doing all of the things that we do. So, having said this, periodically I take the time to answer Ascension related questions, questions on an individual's journey and with the energetics currently and in the recent past, and essentially everything, if you will, everything Ascension related. So having said that, I scheduled this live tonight. I usually do not do that, but I put out a couple hours of notice for ones to join, and on this Easter Monday. So having said that, any questions that you may have, please put them in the comments section, and I will answer them as I see them. Overall, I'll just speak a little bit while I'm waiting for any questions or comments. So overall, the Ascension is going amazingly well, both on the individual basis level and also worldwide. And the two go hand in hand. In this planetary ascension, what had occurred, let's say when we go back to 2015 linear time, prior to that, there was going to be let's say a few that were going to ascend. But since that time, there was a divine decree, and many things changed at the soul level, that then it was more so decided for most of the planet to ascend at least to the fifth dimensional space. So as a result, this has, let's say, prolonged the initial ascension timeline to accommodate the rest of the souls that wished also to ascend out of the hell scenario, if you will, at this time. So having said that, everything is going amazingly well. There, of course, is so many ascension symptoms and so many experiences. And also, having said this, ones are that have reached, let's say, certain ceilings in their development, like you're capped, and you're kept from going too far ahead. Because there is the others that we must wait for. So you have, let's say, the masses that come as a result of us going forward. But you cannot go too far forward without the masses catching up. So it's an altogether thing with us. And when I speak of the masses, I'm speaking about the human souls upon the planet that have the ability to ascend to at least the fifth dimensional space. And having said that, that number is perhaps around 5.8387 billion, and it's not the entire planet. And because this number is not 8 billion and is not reflecting the population number you give on the planet, is because everything here on the planet is not human souls, and they do not have the ability to ascend with the physical vessel intact. For example, what you have is minions of the darkness. They do not go forward. They cannot change their ways. You have fourth dimensional ETs that also they reside in the fourth dimension, and nefarious ones, if you will, and they cannot go forward as well. Also upon the planet over the course of time, You had many clones that were created by the minions of darkness, organic constructs that were growing in labs that don't have souls. You have robotics, you have cybergenics, or no, cyborgs, if you will, as well. So there are many things upon the planet. So the planet is not, as it seems, just everyone human having a human experience. That's really not what is going on with the full truth of it. So, having said that, how are we doing here? Hi, Sharon, and heyo, Paulo, John. Great to see you here. So having said that, any questions, again, just pop them into the comments section. And until I see any questions, I just keep going on. If we look at today, for example, with the energetics, today was a day of not moving too much in your reality, and knowing that there was a certain density that was out there, and it was more of a magnetic density that set the stage for taking the planet a little bit further forward. And it is also the reason why we bring in the electrical in about maybe 16 hours from now. The white light electric will be brought in, and this mix of energy, if you will, assists in raising the vibration of the electromagnetic field, also of Gaia, to keep upstepping the planet and the environment of the human experience forward, if you will. So everything is done divinely, and as co-creators we interact with the particles, if you will, of all creation to affect this overall ascension. And you have many upon the planet that are able to co-create, manifest now, but every day you are having more and more that are stepping in to that part of their journey where they are empowered with that ability to affect somewhat their own reality, and to know that it's very real. So, having said this, we are in the most amazing times ever with it. And today, again, just to recap, a lot of energies coming in, and of course a powerful weekend with the strong beliefs of one worldwide also sets a level with the energetics to take things forward. Hi, Lisa. Good morning. So, having said that, the Ascension is going fine. We also look at, with the Ascension, there is two ways that it's also occurring now. And for the most part, it's one's taking the physical vessels forward, ascending to a new reality upon the planet. However, having said this, there are souls that are ascending through a death process, if you will. But in reality, no one ever dies. It's just a different state of being and leaving one reality and going to another is the most easiest way to describe that. With the human souls, with all of the souls. So, I see that many, if you will, are losing loved ones, and this is also, common at this time for ones to to experience that. However, again, your loved ones do not die. That's not what occurs. It's just that they're going forward in a different way. And it's important for all of you to know that, to remain steadfast in your faith and in your belief, and know that you are upon the planet with a certain and specific divine role to play in the overall ascension, and to assist with making that possible for all of humanity. So right at this point, we have more than, I call, like, you have the vanguard, which is the first wave, pioneers, blasting the trail through the energetic space, and then you have secondary wave, then you have the third wave, which I call now, which is huge, and these, the numbers of these are increasing daily, and altogether these waves and any subsequent waves are all part of the whole that takes the entire planet forward. So it's all happening. So see, we may have a question here. Hi, Rachel. Yeah, I loved, Rachel, your message the other day about the children and what was said. It's just so beautiful. Femke and I looked at it, and yeah, right from our hearts, could feel it, and also know how beautiful that it is. Thank you. So Sharon, she says, is the beast, hi Anita, is the beast machine totally taken down or over yet? With the beast machine, let's say it has been captivated, it has been subdued, and what we are doing, because of the vast and mass effects it had, what we are doing is incrementally and gradually decreasing its effect. So we say that yes, the beast machine is taken down, and it's in the process of releasing its stronghold that it had. Now, incrementally, as that is released, because what it dealt with, the beast machine, was an unnatural rhythm to the planet with electromagnetic, and it caused distortions as well in everything. So in restoring the natural harmonic rhythm of the planet in her of Gaia in her magnetic and electrical fields, we do it incrementally so as not to create so much stress and shock upon both the energetic and the physical body of the planet and every individual, because every individual is also a part of the sentient aspect of the planet as well as with Creator. So it's all one. And to do this, what is being done in this most unprecedented time, it's done incrementally, it's done with great divine prudence and discipline, and it's done incrementally, although when I say incrementally, this is being done very quick. So yeah, the beast machine distorted essentially the planet's natural field, and because it did that, all of the individuals upon the planet were also affected, because you're an energetic being as well. So the equilibrium back to the natural rhythm of yourself in the planet is well underway. Also, to facilitate the effects, because when you touch one thing in creation here, it affects everything. So another few things that we had to do, and also beliefs are affected. They are a very powerful energy. So when you do one thing in creation, you may have to compensate on several other fronts and features to assure that there's a disciplined regulation with taking things forward in creation. So Having said that, we have also, any of you that follow the timeline, what I put out, and all of the activations that many of you and all of us do as a group. These are very important, and every time that we do them, there are confirmations that do arise. We don't need the confirmations, but it's great, that we're able to share it where science is recording it actually, or you're getting photos or what have you. And this instills, more of the faith and trust in the individual, and that thus in turn empowers them even more as well. And so having said this, the internet, worldwide internet, and also electrical grid had to be compensated to facilitate the overall increase into the natural electromagnetic grid of Gaia as well. And to do that, when we upgraded the electromagnetic grid of the planet, then we had to go in and do this also with the electrical grid in the internet. One of the reasons why we had to do it with the internet is because there's such a wide focus on it constantly from the individuals like now, and you're adding energy into it. But not only that, it was negatively induced with about 72% of the energetic stream was electrons. So that left, 28% of only positrons. And as you know, positivity is where we're going forward. So you see that huge imbalance that was there. And also, you could correspond that huge imbalance to 70%, 75% of the divine feminine being awake, taking the ascension forward, where only 25% in the past approximately was masculine. So that was a great distortion. So by us adding positrons into the direct field that affects all your internet and the electrical grid and the EMFs, by doing that, we are also empowering and raising up more of the masculine, and also as a result, the feminine becomes even more powerful in her abilities and her divine grid. So then we have, so we have the feminine and the masculine, but what is occurring? They keep incrementally becoming stronger and stronger in their divine abilities and power. I'll have a look, see if it's any other questions there, so I don't ramble on too much. Thank you. Lucy Cross says, I'm going to go back here. What will occur when the great solar flash happens? Well, Lucy, what I wish to say, the great solar flash, we are within it right now. And it's a duration of linear time. So right now, this solar flash, let's say when it began, let's say 2015, and let's say this is the end result when the planetary ascension has occurred. So in between here you have a linear time, but this is all of the flash. For us, there is no time, that everything we transcend all time and space. So we are in the middle of the flash now. And during this, what you could consider solar flashes is incremental shifts forward in the consciousness that begins to shift the entire paradigm upon the planet, the entire reality. And when we come out after the flash has occurred, if you will, we have ascended the entire planet. Now, in between here, there will be, and there has been, if you will, solar flash points, and also what is divinely needed. However, what I'm given for the most part is that it's being done transitionally like this, and incrementally keep stepping humanity forward. So ones, look and depend upon a solar flash, but we are this solar flash, and this solar flash occurs as the result of what every divine individual does that's in alignment with their divine role in the divine plan upon the planet. And that's what expedites the solar flash scenario coming to fruition. Thank you for that great question. I'll have a look and see if we have any more questions here. Hey, Joanna, Lisa, Rachel, Sharon, Bill. Laura Ann just says, this is so confusing to her. I know there is something going on with her. I just don't understand it, she says. And, with this, Laura Ann, the thing is, and for everyone, do not put stress upon yourself. Do not think that you're not doing things right, or that you're blocked, or what have you. Don't think that way. If you are, let's say, blocked, you need to know that all of the remedies are out there, and you do access them by not going into stress and keeping positive and having faith and having patience and having trust. Because it's all about that as well. As part of doing your interwork, you integrate the purer acts and actions and emotions, because these are the higher frequency acts. And once you do this in your acting, once you have embodied this, and you're no longer acting out of stress, fear, aggression, once you have done that, then you have risen your vibration. And you have also risen your consciousness, that the solutions come much quicker to you. And you become more empowered and more stable. So the thing is, do not stress yourself. And what I need to say too is, there's so many unique tools that the individual souls have to assist along their journey. And what I wish to say, look at that, most of your life has already been written by you. It's in your script, in your soul, to what you would experience. However, in linear year 2015, the scripts that ones come with, many things changed. And one of the reasons it did is because while you're awake, like now, not sleeping, you're able to change your script by your actions and everything that you do, and you can put yourself into higher alignment and visit the higher states of being and doing more significant divine work with it. So there are some variables, now in respect to the soul script. You are not restricted to any soul script that involved, unnecessary hardship or what have you. And you have the full ability and full remedies to take yourself forward. Once you know that, and you take yourself forward through the self-empowerment process. And this is what call I love Lisa Renee uses it, service to self. That's your embodiment and empowerment process. Then once you have that pretty complete and balanced within yourself, when I say balanced, I mean feminine good traits, masculine good traits, and are at peace and one with those traits, then you are empowered, and you come out and you realize and understand that it's really not about you, that you had all of the ways all along, and that you realize you're here to actually assist humanity, the other souls, to change reality and take it forward. And this is, one of the reasons why you are doing your inner work, so that you are empowered to the stage that you are able to co-create here on a much broader scale and assist with changing the reality, with creating the new reality. And this is why you go through your course of doing your inner work to establish within your being, while you're on the planet, your divine discipline. And with that comes, many responsibilities individually, but each one has tools and gifts that can be unique to them in the way that they achieve their empowerment. But you are not restricted, and things are not written in stone in this development, because as we keep changing reality, new tools enter the scene that assists ones even more. So you're not restricted to, let's say, certain old tools, because the tools also become upgraded. So it makes it easier, and a little bit expedites the individual's process. I'll have a look and see what else we have here for some questions. Thank you. Yeah, Lorianne said she's in California. That was one of the denser areas. Yeah, you have your crystals, tools, whatever works. And with that, and know that know that the Great Awakening, all of you are familiar with that. It's a divine orchestration. It's not happening by chance. It's not an anomaly, meaning that it's divinely orchestrated. So there is a force, if you will, that has overseen this, but you are also part of this force, and it's all going together to change reality. And it's no matter how you look at it, meaning if you want to look at it from the perspective of religion and scripture and prophecy, you will see they're all saying the same things for this time. And the metaphysical community, the New Age, the dawning of the age of Aquarius, the Golden Age, what you can do is, you can research, and you can see that this time has been written about, and it's here. And the more that everyone believes in that, what is going on through what they experience and see, then the quicker we get to the new world that's been spoken about. And it's not, I also at this point need to say that, one moment, for many, they'll stress with a misconception and a notion that you need all of the masses awakened. You do not need that. You only need, what I love to say is, in unity, about 6,000 of the enlightened, enhanced light workers in unity, and you're affecting the population upon the planet. Once you have them all in unity, co-creating the same thing with the same goal. You change reality very quickly. And, we can use the analogy of the 100th monkey effect, because that's what occurs. And you know what I'm saying? If you look in the world today, all around the world with politicians, there's about 46,000 politicians that are uh, dictating and telling, about 8 billion or 6 billion what to do. But having said this, that was in the past. But what I'm showing is that it takes very few to lead the way forward. But when you have 6,000 enlightened ones, and again, where they do directly affect about 1 million each, you've got 6 billion covered. That easily. So it's a misconception that you need all awake. They awaken by default, or as a byproduct of the unity of all the light workers going forward and creating this unity, which raises the frequency of the planet, which then affects the consciousness directly of those not awakened. And then what occurs? They begin to have abrupt awakenings, and even a steady increase in awakening. And this is the role for all of the light workers, divine ones upon the planet, is to take the new reality forward and continuously raise the frequency of the planet in whatever way you're guided to do it. And this awakens the masses. So you don't need them all awakened to change the world. You actually begin to change the world, and that causes them to awaken. So it's important for all to know your power and your abilities and what we're here to do, and to unite with that. Okay, Matthias, how would you describe synchronicities? Are they happening if we are in the right timeline, soul script? Yes, Matthias, I love that. These are artifacts, synchronicities and little anomalies. These are artifacts of maintaining your vibration at a certain level, and they're also little confirmations that come in, because they are also divine incentives to show you, that you are affecting reality, and that you are indeed on the right track to be creating and witnessing at the same time these synchronicities. And they are very valuable, because what they do, by one's noticing, acknowledging that there is such a thing as a synchronicity, it begins to instill more trust and more knowing in one, and it begins to eradicate the doubt that you're in a bland world that you have no control over. And each time, as you know, any time one experiences seeing multiple synchronicities, deja vus, um, uh, number sequences, and you know what that does. It immediately gets your attention, and your vibration rises. So it is indeed. So yes, so with synchronicities, for the most part, they are um, a satellite part of the individual, that they are created by that. And to keep it simply, it's to let you know that, yeah, you are affecting your reality, and that you are creating it by what your thoughts, and where your thoughts may be towards, where your attention goes. And one basic rule, which is absolutely correct, where your focus goes is where your energy goes. And this is why, with this one basic rule that we tell everyone, don't go into that fear narrative, don't energize it and spread it if you know that you can do the opposite, which has more effect. So when you're at that level, you're above, let's say, what you would call a truther level, and you're able to begin to put your energy and your focus on the solution and the good things instead of energizing the fear paradigm. So the more focus we put on the solution and positivity, and the bigger that gets by the numbers joining it, it implodes the old fear paradigm. Great, thank you for that. Well, just scrolling here again. Jamie with ego. Let me see what else. Would synchronicity keep some from seeing such? Jamie, you're asking if feels that you jump ahead too much. Let me say no. No one does jump ahead because it's divinely regulated. So when you jump, go ahead as far as you can go. But what you'll find is that we're divinely regulated to a certain level. So I strongly encourage everyone, jump as far ahead as you can, and from that level, plant the seeds back to the others, because that is the information stream that assists to bring them forward as well. For being an ascension teacher, if you will, there are times I will put out complex things that ones may not even see what I have put out, or if they're in a negative mindset, they may think it's something else. But the important thing is that the right ones get it. So you be consistent and persistent and adamant at putting these things out, for they do have the great effects at taking things forward. Now, with the ego as well, Jamie, you brought up a great point that I wish to expand upon and elaborate a little bit upon. We wish to say that there is two egos. One is the bad ego with all of the inner work you had to do. The bad ego is acting out of the old, lower density, negative ways of fear. But then there's the good ego. And the good ego, when we look at ego as a whole, it's your identity. Without it, you'd be nothing. You'd just be a neutral void. So with the good ego, this is your divine identity. It is your divine character. It is your divine strength. And it is pertinent for you to be in your divine identity upon the planet, for you are a peer. You are a beacon of light, if you will. And it's important that one see you, and never second guess yourself or question yourself that you're doing something wrong, because the fact is no one does any wrong at that level. You're in your heart, and it is important to embrace your divine ego, your divine identity, and you need to rise above the restrictions of modesty and humility to be able to stand to do the role that you came here to do. If you're a role, a divine peer, if you will, to take this ascension forward, you need to be seen out there in the public. You cannot hide in the closet somewhere. It has no effect. So you need your divine good ego, because that is your identity, and it puts you out there, and it also gives others more incentive to be what they are as well. And for example, with this, I say, well, I'm ascended master and overseer of the ascension, which is very true. But at the same time, I say I'm not the only one, that we have many brothers and sisters that are standing shoulder to shoulder with us. And, the fact is that this divine ground crew, what I'm given, is over 4 million of us here to ensure and guarantee this planetary ascension. So having said that, each one plays a vital role and contributes to the whole of us doing this. And I've been, given this by Father Prime Creator Aspect himself, that it's not to be done by one. Let's say it was attempted by one in the past to just lay down the framework 2,000 years ago, but it is different now. There are many of us upon the planet, and you even have ascended masters that were never known to the planet before. Some of them, this is their first time here, and you have many divine elements and identities, even in the galactics and what have you, that have incarnated upon the planet to, if you will, take this entire ascension, planetary ascension home. So no longer is it a solo ascension, and for any to think that, they're still in their service to self part of the process. But quickly when they come out of that, then they realize, when they're unable to solely change the planet themselves, if you will, and to change their experiences in their reality, then they realize that it takes all of us together to do this. And this is how it is designed, because it is a divine planetary ascension that requires the unity of us coming together, that unlocks the pieces, the clues, the pieces of the puzzle, so that we keep expanding to the next level. It unlocks the knowledge also to do that, and it's designed that it's contained within each one of us. This is why the unity is so important. In anything that separates or suggests separation, that is not in divine alignment. And it's important, on the wide scale to recognize that there is an ulterior motive or intent when it begins to separate ones from the overall ascension goal, which is all of the godlike things that we are creating, equality being one of them, which is so important. So great question. So everyone's good ego is important. Just get rid of the negative aspects of your ego and of your acts and actions, and you will confirm to yourself your empowerment and even how much more control you have on your immediate reality. And then you will see that it is factual as well, and that it is empowering. Thank you for that. So just looking here to see. Elizabeth says, I've been told past life that I was an ascended master. I don't know what that means for me exactly. Okay, with this, Elizabeth, what I say is that when you're told by another what you are, observe it neutrally. However, if it resonates, then that means it has at least some credence to follow and allow it to be a possibility. And what I will say also, yes, there's many ascended masters here, and it depends on what you use to describe what your definition of an ascended master is. So yeah, you're saying it resonates. So then that is great, because also you could say it's a key divine incentive that it resonates with you that you're an ascended master. And what does all of that entail? So then it changes your focus in alignment with finding out more of what you may need to do and what your role may need to be here. But once you're on that path, the more knowledge that you open up into your operating consciousness, you also open up the avenues where more of your energetic gifts come in. More of your memory is retrieved from your soul up into your consciousness operating, and it takes you forward to the degree that you need to be. No one individually really can tell another who they are or who they are not. And I see these things occurring. I'll use myself for an example. I'll see ones saying, you're not who you are, Rick, or I even heard them say you're false light, and that I don't speak to Prime Creator Father. They even say that, and I say, no, I know you're lying when you say that, because I know who and what I am, and nobody can tell me that I'm anything different. And this is for each one of you that's watching this. It's you and your connection to Prime Creator that lets you know who you are and what you are and what your role is here. And again, don't stress it if you don't know your full script, because it comes incrementally as you move forward with your trust and your empowerment. Then you're given more information. So that's great. So, the Ascended Master label, labels are great for putting an identity label on something, but and when it's widespread used, then you got to look at the definitions of how ones are using them. For example, I say I'm an Ascended Master because I am. And one of the things I get, an Ascended Master doesn't smoke cigarettes. And let's say an Ascended Master wouldn't be asking for money. An Ascended Master, they would say, would not be living in this little camper about the size of a normal bathroom. But what I say is that, you have your perception and your definition of an Ascended Master. And here I am, an Ascended Master as I am, which it may defy your definition, but it doesn't take away my divine status of being that. It's their perception of truth, and I don't wish to take that from them. Sometimes, they'll try to persist to tell me that I'm not who I am, and out of my compassion and assistance, if they're genuine, I'll give them some more information to affect the reasons why. But with let's say some, when they don't get it, then I just say, you cannot tell me who I am. I already know, and no one knows myself better than I. But anyways, instead of rambling, and these are all part of the experiences that we go through. And also when one of us gives the higher divine truth, it also gets reflected through the collective consciousness to some degree. And that is also why it's so important for us to keep speaking the truth and our truth, because it affects the good change. Because truth is powerful, it is the higher frequency, and it affects all of reality. And the more that we have doing this, then the lies, cannot exist. And that's also what's been occurring with the lower timeline, all of the deception, all of the lies. They cannot contend with the highest divine quality of the truth. And, this is also simple physics with it. And what I also love is science. Even the science upon the planet supports what I'm saying. They've done the experiments, they've done their papers, their documentations, and they know this. So the metaphysical community, everything we're speaking about now, um, to the most degree, is supported by science as well, which is beautiful for the most part. Not all of it yet, but a lot of it, and that makes it easier for us in the divine capacity, to show examples to ones that are just beginning their journey, to show that this is not so far-fetched, that it's already been proven. So there's a lot of proofs out there, with the effects of meditation and what they're calling mindfulness. These are very real psychological effects that are being integrated more and more into these medical fields of psychiatry, psychology, and all of those, and they're recognizing that they're very real. The meditation, that it works, the yoga, that it works, and the stillness of the mind, that it works. But they're also putting in, the positivity, the power of being positivity, how it lifts you out of sickness and takes away the stress, and all of the other great values that comes with doing the inner work. So even orthodox psychology is transitioning into that field, because it's been documented, if you will, to sufficient degrees by science to show that it's true and real. So we already have that great foundation there for the masses. It's already prepared. So I'll see if there's any more questions here. And Jamie, okay, one of your things, just as a neutral suggestion, and as a co-creator, Jamie, what I suggest is don't say that you don't know. And this is important, because if you say that you don't know, and you leave it as that, then you create that scenario, that reality where you don't know, so you're restricting yourself. One of the things that I use if I don't know, if you will, the answer to a question, I'll just say, right at this moment, I don't, it's not in my operating consciousness, the answer to that. But what you do is you just don't put that restrictive and leave it that you don't know, because you need to remember you're a co-creator, and we wish to keep creating, that we have all of the answers, and to keep that open, but do it modestly so that you don't suppress your own co-creator powers that's keeping you from the answer when you say you don't know. Because you also know that when you're open with that, also in the moment, from your soul, because your soul knows everything, you could even speak something out which is the answer, and you'll shake your head, where did that come from? How did I know that? So you don't want to block that. It's just a neutral thing, what I'm saying. Thank you. Right on. Any more questions? We're almost an hour into this, so if there's a few more questions, I'll take those, and we can keep this a short one, so for ones perhaps watching later, it's not so lengthy. And of course, what is being done, I'll add it in at this point, because I don't see any more questions, is Uh, the gpms.world is the divine plan for humanity, and it is being done this way essentially that the intrinsic value is where money's going to be temporarily created from every individual. And what this does, it takes the full power away from the global elitists, the darkness, the governments at um, putting external value on gold, or the control that they are controlling the money. So to set humanity free of that enslavement, we activate the intrinsic value of all and come together as one to make, let's say, money very abundant, and then it becomes obsolete. It's no longer needed, and that is when humanity is in the fifth dimensional state. But having said this, this GPMS world is the divine strategy, the divine direction, and the divine end goal that takes humanity out of this savage hell, if you will. And the sooner we have all light workers and all light beings and divine ones upon the planet in unity with this, the quicker we get it done. And having said that, I would not be sitting here today or any time in the past speaking about these things, especially GPMS, if I did not know it was guaranteed. So it's important for all to know what it is, and it's for any that's awake. You know how energy works and how creation works, so it's not difficult to perceive what this does by eliminating the worldwide stress that is caused due to money by that old control of it. Poof, you just raise the entire planet's vibration and the ascension is done. And that's how quick and simple it is. So just need everyone together with that one common goal, that one positive thought to create the new world, and it's done. And when I say we just need everyone together, I mean we only need the awakened community in alignment with that. And when you look at the awakened community, that is over, I'd say, 1 billion that is awake enough, at least, to know that this is the way to do it. And the rest are aware upon the planet, are in the first level of their awakening. The majority are aware enough to know that the old no longer serves. So very quickly we get this done. Once we have all in alignment with that simple divine reasoning of how this works and why it works and why it is here to facilitate the ascension. So with that, any final questions or comments? If not, we'll end this one and keep it. Christina says, have you had a glimpse of this new world, Rick? Well, one thing what I can say, it's envisioned in, I know it, let's say to have an actual visual of it, perhaps not, but let me say energetically all the dynamics of it are encapsulated within here, meaning that everything to make it work is contained within her. I know that in my connection to Prime Creator, the divine realms, the galactic realms that are assisting with this, that we have everything. But not only is it contained within I as well, Christina, the voice that we collect, you know, the entire skill set around the planet and all of the others. This is where all of the pieces are at for this new world. And so So I know it, and that's why we say it. And I've also, having said this, I cannot say that I was actually energetically there, but what I will say is I've come across ones in the past that, yeah, they were remotely in it, in that timeline, if you will. So, but it's inevitable, and it's very imminent, and that's what we're going forward to. Thank you for that question. All right, any closing questions, or we'll keep this? It was an hour and 33 seconds. Yeah, and Jamie just comment here, so just to get ones to question and investigate things more. One thing what I need to say for ones as well, in your awakening process, in your journey, there are some that will tell you to question everything. Now, what I am saying, no, you do not question everything, meaning that you do not question your connection to Creator and your own empowerment in going forward. You need a direction, so do not question that. You need to remain adamant and have this as your pillar of trust, with you connected to Prime Creator, wherever it may be. A Prime Creator might be inside you, but you need that trust that is unquestionable. And it's very important, because if you begin to question everything, you're going to create mass confusion for yourself, and you'll never have a direction to take you forward. You need one direction to take you out of it. You need a rope. So don't question everything. You only question things to the degree that you need to get a rationale and a sense out of it, and perhaps a direction. But, very quickly, if something doesn't resonate with you, use your discretion from your heart in what you feel, and don't waste time on it. Put your time and your effort into the things that feel right, and let that be your guidance, and don't question that. And important, truth, as you keep going forward, constantly changes to some degree. So it's important to remain neutral with an open mind always, and don't draw a constant conclusion on any truth, because some things are subject to change. And as ones of you will know, before you were awakened, you thought everything was okay. You didn't know fully how it was the lie until you awakened. Then you saw there was another truth. So this is an example of that as well. So don't question yourself. You need to trust yourself, and it makes you stronger also by keeping that trust in Prime Creator. And that is a very powerful link to assist you and elevate you in your ability while you're upon the planet, in the least. So, thank you. Having said that, I'm going to end this, and it's been a great discussion, and been excellent questions, and so grateful for that, and your contribution to this live, and of course it'll be constructive for any who watch it later as well. And Rick Vornbrook, he usually downloads these lives and has it on a Rick George YouTube channel, and you can find it there later, along with other past lives I have done, if any wishes to. And having said that, thank you all. And yeah, the winks and the peace, the world peace, and the love, love coming through, and all of the good things. And we got this. So we just keep going forward and keep uniting and know your power and know the power with the strength in numbers and in the unity, and have no stress, work on your fear, and all of those good things. So love, light, and gratitude, and thank you all, and have an amazing morning, day, night, wherever you may be.